If marketing sends 100 leads and sales closes none of them, who failed?
Yeah. This episode might start off right today.
Yeah, 100%. Or definitely some big feelings. Welcome to HubSpot Mentors. I am Tasha, joined by the wonderful and amazing solution seeker Semih. And you thought I'd forgot about that name, but I haven't forgot. And in this episode, we are getting into some big feelings about this idea, this concept of marketing lead versus sales lead. And the reason why we're talking about this is because we've, funnily enough, had a few of our clients very recently come back from their, planning sessions, at the beginning of the year, and they've had marketing sit in a room, sales in a room, and the words my client shared were, there were some big feelings around the definitions of, leads and opportunities. And I was like, I love that because I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's really good because you're predominantly come from a marketing background.
Yeah.
And I predominantly come from a sales approach background at HubSpot.
Exactly.
So this is a juicy one for us too.
We probably will have differing opinions, but as you guys have probably, if you've listened to Semih and I talk before, we get passionate about stuff. But it's just the way we approach these things. So we are talking about sales versus marketing. When is the lead actually a deal? And what is and why this often breaks down teams? Why we see it breaking down the teams. So I think let's ask you first, Semih, right? When, in your opinion, does a lead become sales responsibility?
So a lead is...
This is Semih. This is typical Semih. Not answering the actual question, but more like breaking down. What is a lead?
That's true. That's true, right? Let's start with that, right? Let's define what a lead is because everyone has a different opinion of a lead. The way I think about a lead, there's engaged lead, there's unengaged lead. Everyone's a lead. Right? Like everyone's a contact, you can sell to everyone, but some people are just more engaged with you, some people are unengaged with you.
But you can have a contact in your system that's not a lead.
That's not a lead. Therefore...
Because a lead's done something.
They're not a lead, they're just a contact, but you can potentially sell to them, right?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
You can turn them into a lead.
You can turn them into a lead.
Or a deal.
You can turn them into a lead, right?
Or a deal.
Or a deal if they're interested in it, right? So when does a lead become a sales responsibility is when someone shows interest towards the product that you're selling or wants to know more about it, or you think based on your data that you see that they should be intervened by a sales rep to get their insights into the product or service.
I like the words commercial intent. Right? There is intent to buy. You can tell based off of what Semih just said, based off of data, experience, knowledge, whatever, there is commercial intent, as in that customer, the prospect is behaving like somebody that's about to buy from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because there are clear signals when someone is about to buy.
Yeah.
If again, you've got more experience in sales than I do, but I can assume as a buyer of myself. Sorry. Yeah. I know that there are clear signals before you buy something. So those
you're browsing the websites, you're looking at things to do. You're like, hey, I don't know which one to go. And then if someone
pricing pages,
if someone you download an ebook or something, and then someone goes, hey, let me call you up.
Opening up product pages, exactly. So there's clear commercial intentional behavior. That to me is like, okay, this is a.
This is the point when your salesperson. I agree with you, but I think there's a thing here when someone shows commercial intent. I think I really like that, but at that point, you're right. It should be considered as a deal, but there's a stage before them where people get confused. Right? It's like, when someone's deciding yes or no. Some people might be everyone's different. Right? And we can't put everyone in the same basket.
That's true.
So some people might be like, hey, I want to do my own research like me, right? When I go to buy Harvey Norman, all the salespeople come in. I'm like, hey, man, this is the spec I want, right? Just show me that, leave me alone, right? Yeah. Versus some people might come in and be like, hey, these are the things I want to use it for. Can you help guide me on what the best product might be, right? Yeah, that's an ideal salesperson role because you're like, hey, let me show you this, blah, 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 and walk them through that phase, right? Because they trust you. They should trust you as a sales rep. So
you're saying, Semih, that there's different types of leads?
There is different types of leads.
Human behavior-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And you should treat them differently. But there's a few key elements here, which is like a lead would, depending on the type of lead, they would either convert into something or that, like for example, it's someone that goes into your website to buy an activity or buy something, they take out the credit card, bought it. Why do you need to intervene with them? They just want to buy something.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
But if someone is on your website, looked at 10 different pages, right? And obviously they're looking at pricing pages, they're looking at product comparison pages. Why wouldn't you, if you've got the contact details, just reach out and be like, hey man, just want to...
As a lead or a deal?
As an outreach option, as a lead.
As a lead,
right?
Okay.
As
so
a
they're
lead.
still not considered a commercial opportunity in a sales pipeline.
That's right, because you don't know.
But you can still, in the lead methodology,
yeah.
maybe like an outreach salesperson, not so much as a marketing, but so it's kind of like BDM, so the pre-sales, right? You were saying before different types of salespeople.
That's correct.
This would be a good point. But you're saying maybe for the right salesperson with the right information, that approach, more friendly, how can I help you? I can see you browsing type of stuff.
You want to say, I can see you browsing.
I would if I was
you might be like, hey, I
see you on my website.
Hey, listen, I noticed that you requested for a download, or you put information, download some context, or you requested a quote, right?
Yeah.
Just want to call to see how can I support you with this, because it seems like a big decision you plan to make, right?
Yeah.
Then you can walk them through the process that you would typically do. But that call then qualifies them to see if they have intent to buy or not, commercial intent to buy or not. That's a deal.
Yep.
Right? Before then is not a deal.
Yeah.
And that's where what I notice is most of the sales pipelines, pre-lead object pipeline.
Pre-lead
object pipeline,
okay.
I'm going to say, because lead object solves that specific problem, right? How many times has someone come to me to inquire about my service, and how many times are they tie kickers or not tie kickers? That's what lead object really supports with, right? Mm-hmm. The deal stage is like, this person has intent. How can I get this person, how can I solve the problem that my business solves for me to really get this person closed? The commercial intent comes out, right?
Yeah, you talk shop then. I get
That's correct.
Yeah.
Right? So lead, that's a big one.
Yeah.
So when does lead become a sales responsibility? I think the moment when marketing have identified that this lead has showed enough intent on a website or through different marketing methods, right? That they should be considered to go out to a sales rep to then really support them. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to support the client.
Yeah.
So sales is that last, I guess, human intervention to be able to really support that person, help them out, essentially.
Yeah. I think for everything that you said, I would agree. A lead becomes sales responsibility when that kind of trigger happens. I think where I see a lot of my clients fail in this moment is they don't sit down and agree to it. We create these beautiful customer journey maps, we build this in their system, and then we get feedback, a few weeks later saying, I don't have that many deals in my pipeline. It's like, because they're in leads. You need to qualify them to turn them into deals. And this is a true example with a client maybe mid last year, where they were really struggling to understand the difference between a lead and a deal, because for them, every single contact that came into the system was a deal and it went into a sales pipeline. But I'm talking people downloading just checklists or white papers or subscribing to a blog, getting put into a sales pipeline. So we fixed it. Technically, we fixed it in the system. But I don't want to say old school. I just said old school. These more senior, no, that's horrible. These salespeople were stuck in some older ways in which they're like, no, everything should be in my sales pipeline. But it's like, no, you guys are selling high value products. You shouldn't be putting in tire kickers into a pipeline because it skews your reporting, and the directors don't want to see that, right? Yeah. So for them, what was failing is because no one agreed on the moment. That was, the prospect needs to do this, and this is what then deems them a deal or a sales responsibility. Everything prior to that, they're a lead. Now, I do think to your point, there's levels to how you can automate that process, because you've got, if you've got a really robust content engine and you are tracking the people on your website, you've got lots of call to actions, you've got lots of funnels, if you will, like marketing funnels and opportunities for people to convert on your website, you can use things like lead scoring and buyer intent scoring much more than those that don't have content being created.
Yeah.
So you can get a bit more savvy with marketing a department, monitoring their audience, and then saying, hey, sales, here's a couple of people that look like they could be ready for a conversation with you. And like the stuff Semih and I were sharing before, those are very obvious commercial intent behaviors.
Yeah.
But there's other things that we haven't mentioned, like when you've got a customer or you've got a person in your database and they've opened like 12 plus of your marketing emails in the last 3 months, and they've been to your website over the last 3 months, and they've interacted with your social media posts or whatever. If they've done a lot of engaging, and we know that person is in our market area, they look like a ICP, that is a really good opportunity for you to use some clever marketing automation to say, hey, sales, just reach out to this person. And then a very clever salesperson knows how to strategically approach that type of lead, if you will.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think
I just ranted. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I really like that approach that you're trying to break up. But as you were talking, what came to my mind is like, if we treat our sales reps, depending on the type of salesperson there is, if you treat our sales rep as, some people like knocking on doors, right? Like door knockers, right? They love knocking on doors. Some people don't. If you have a senior salesperson or someone who's been in the game for a long time and you keep sending them leads, it's like you're telling that person to go and knock on every single door to sell them a car, right?
You're saying if you're sending them unqualified leads.
That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone goes through downloading the page and stuff, I think that's why the architecture of HubSpot is really important, to make sure that we have a clear definition of what those requirements are, and then to your point, sending them across. You won't typically get again, going to the high level ticket sales, you won't, if someone's looking for a car, for example, you wouldn't expect someone to knock on your door and be like, hey, do you want a BMW, right?
Yeah.
It just won't work.
For free? Yeah,
for free. It just won't work, right?
Yeah.
So we can talk about this all day, every day, but I think there's also a big disconnect between what marketing thinks sales would want and what sales actually would want.
And I think it differs business to business, sales rep to sales rep. Like what you were just sharing, a more experienced sales rep versus a greener one. Like a greener one that's really hungry might be like, just give me everyone and I'll try and convert as many as possible.
And you should give them everyone because it gives them reps.
Yeah,
right?
100%. Whereas a more experienced one might be like, I'm a more of a closer. I just want people that are, closer to making a decision. I mean, if that's a salesperson, they've got to have 100% close rates, because otherwise, like, out of here.
I think they should. I think salespeople shouldn't pick and choose. Even if you have a big team, you have a massive team, they shouldn't pick and choose. But yes, there is versions of like qualified. Like if you're working through someone, again, at the end of the day, volume is really important. Volume of leads. That's why your pipeline is really important. Your HubSpot reporting is really important.
Your marketing is important.
Is really important. Absolutely, right?
Exactly.
Pushing those deals out there. So should marketing
I was going to ask you that question.
Should marketing ever create a deal, in your opinion?
I'm a marketer and I don't think they should. But that's because I have worked with a lot of sales teams. And so I feel like I've got the benefit of perspective that a lot of marketers might not.
Damn.
I would say no. We can send.
Depends on the product.
No.
What if someone checks you out? That's a deal.
Yo, Semih, don't get so granular with me, man. We're not. Let's just rule out e-com.
And service
B2C.
brands. We're talking about service, B2B.
B2B service, long considered buying journeys, right? The more that's our niche, right?
10K plus or 2K plus, whatever it is.
Whatever. It's just there's no e-commerce checkout, right? Yeah. No, marketing should not create deals at all. I think that if you look at our notes here, where it says sometimes yes, inbound heavy business. I mean, and this is where maybe in a checkout world where you've got a lot of inbound leads coming through and
blog websites, purchase this, purchase that, and you can go to a course, blah, blah, blah. You can
quickly course. Like I've heard a couple of clients over the years that have had like online courses that they generate like a lot of leads. Yeah. And then a lot of those leads they've got really good nurturing sequences that allow them to then go off and apply. Yeah. But once they're in the application, quote unquote, application pipeline, it's then treated like a deal. So that's like, it's got to be well sought after. I've got to have a good explanation and you've got to be ready to fight me if a marketer says, I want marketing creating deals automatically.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think marketers should be creating deals.
right.
Then no fighting in that one.
Hot take. If marketing's creating deals, you either have a very good funnel or a very confused sales team. It's true.
I agree with you. But I think we need to also disconnect, like in my opinion, I think sales teams look at marketing as another lead gen platform, right? Because right now there's... so sales on their own, if you have a really good salesperson, he'll also bring the leads with him. She will bring the leads with them,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
They're like, hey, I'm hiring you to bring me leads, right? They're like, okay, great. I don't know how. Hey, you're the sales rep, you're the expert here. Then the guy's like, okay, great. What type of business, blah, 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 goes out there, finds the leads.
They do their BDR, yeah.
They also would rely on you to give them qualified leads. And it's that interest between, hey, they should have some understanding of how marketing do things in order to dictate to them, hey, this is the type of ICP, this is the type of people I want in my to-do list. Can we adjust our marketing to be able to provide that?
Yeah.
So that's really important key. So a salesperson should also do its own outreach to be able to figure that information, in my opinion, should be able to figure that information out.
Yeah, all the business should know that, right? So we work with, on our digital marketing side of the business, we've got, we're the marketers. We're the extension of the marketing team. So like in our paid media teams, for example, it is our KPI for our clients to generate low-cost, high-quality leads through paid media. So that's what Linda and her team are always talking about. And we then, our clients that are on HubSpot, we're able to, and when I say on HubSpot for sales, we're able to then track like our campaigns that we're running for them that are converting into leads, that sales are then working and converting into won deals. And it's been a beautiful journey to be able to, first of all, get our clients on HubSpot doing that. But also to your point, Semih, like learn that, understand that, make sure that as an extension of the client's marketing team, we're serving up good quality leads. Otherwise, we're gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, over the years, 100%. It has happened, but we're very good at what we do now.
So what I know we're not really talking about how to communicate sales to marketing, right?
Sorry.
We're not talking about that a little bit, but I think it's good information to point out. The information that sales has that marketing don't, which is sales have an insight into how the person is thinking about making a decision. So all the problems, questions they're asking, all the pain points, those are the information that marketing really need in order to craft up their marketing info. So it's really important that communication happens internally.
Yep.
Then you'll be able to classify leads in a really accurate way, in my opinion.
Yep.
Right?
No, I agree with you. I reckon we're going to go straight into our real problem. So I think this is a big problem because both marketing and sales use different kind of like criteria to measure their KPIs or their success, if you will. Marketing are looking for things like, volume of leads, cost per leads, we said it before. And then sales are obviously looking at things like what's my win rate, what's the size of my deals, what's the speed of them. So I don't think it's necessarily a marketing and sales problem. It's rather like a definition problem. We need to get the teams aligned for their definitions of lead and deal. And
I agree.
when I say defined, it's not like just a one-liner. No, it's just like we build personas of who we want to sell to. This is what a lead looks like. This is what a qualified lead looks like. This is what a deal looks like. And you need to have the clear differentiator between the lead and to the deal and the handoff as well. And even to the point, Semih, what you do with your clients, the detail that you go into when it comes to like, hey, sales, this is what happens, and you document it. This is what happens when a lead comes to you and how it's like, here's the workflow, here's the link, here's the notification. Like, it sounds like a lot because it is, but it's when a business does the work, the hard work in that point, that we get that glowing feedback from clients. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. The definitions play a huge role. I think we spend a fair bit of the time trying to figure out those definitions. I'll give you a real practical example of one that happened recently is when we're looking at life cycle stages, definition wasn't really communicated from marketing to sales. And so what the definition of like MQL, they had renamed it to sales unqualified lead. Right. And what sales thought that one was actually where all the dead leads would go to.
Oh, this
so
one,
when
yeah.
so when in and then the whole time we're
So bad.
speaking to the client, we're like, hey, what does this mean? What does this stage mean? And all the salespeople gave me a definition of, hey, this is where all bad leads go, right? Then I looked into the workflows, and all I see is when a form is submitted, update lifecycle stages to sales unqualified lead.
So basically,
for them to qualify it.
Every new
All
lead
the leads.
coming in was going into a category that sales thought was bad lead.
Bad lead, and we shouldn't touch
Automatically.
it.
You can imagine, I can only imagine your like, oh my God moment. And then you got to tell the client.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, this was not us.
Yeah.
Just, I'm telling you what I've found. But this is why clients come to us, because they have lead problems. And then often we go in there and it's like, you don't have a lead problem. You got like a workflow problem.
You know what? He had like, I think it was like 1,600 leads in that bucket.
Oh, Semih, stop telling me. It's making me feel sick. Like, so many leads just missed.
Look, I'm so sorry, but I think you got like 3 months worth of, 6 months worth of leads in there.
That your sales
that
team
you
have
may
ignored.
or may not haven't spoken with.
Yeah. Most
We
probably
just
not.
can't even confirm that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which we probably can through HubSpot, but I'm just saying, like,
it's the problem. That's a problem.
That's
right?
a problem.
So fortunately, Semih solved that for them now, and they don't have that problem anymore. But we keep seeing it. We see it week on week, with new clients coming through, new prospects speaking to the sales team here. The same stuff.
I think one key takeaway from this episode, if you were just to listen to this one section, it would be like, please define what is the life cycle stages, or just define what a lead is for your sales and for marketing people, and just get clear on them so that they all understand what those life cycle stages mean for you in your HubSpot portal.
Yeah, no, I like that. And I think if your team is showing big feelings on this topic, that's a good sign. I mean, when people have feelings towards something, it generally means that they care about it.
Absolutely.
And so if you've got sales and marketing having some, it's so funny, I use big feelings with my 5-year-old. But yeah, if they're having big feelings about this definition, then 100% good sign. Sit down with them. Let's get the two departments in the room and get them to define. And they don't necessarily need to agree on everything. We just need to have alignment. It's just alignment. People need to be working towards the common goal, doing the same thing. That was a good one, man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we finish it off?
So sales and marketing don't need to agree on everything. They just need to agree on when the money starts counting.
Cha-ching!
Cha-ching, that's right.
Let's put that sound
Figure
in.
out where the money's at and just focus on that, not anything else.
100%, that's it. Oh, well, Semih, what a pleasure it's been. Welcome to the new year as well. It's been
absolutely
very exciting things to come this year on HubSpot Mentors. With that said, we will see you next time.
Absolutely. See you guys. Bye. Didn't even say it properly.
Bye. Bye.